New Zealand's capital is running out of fresh water. It's promoting tougher water restrictions to be enforced, which start today.
Wellingtonians are being urged to prepare for the possibility of extreme water restrictions this summer.
The combination of leaky pipes and warmer than average weather conditions is putting huge pressure on the water supply.
And that does mean that we face a challenge in providing enough water for all of the residents in the Wellington region over the summer.
Wellington Water calculates there are more than 3,000 leaks across the region, prompting Stage 2 restrictions to be enforced.
So as of today, there is 700 kilometres of pipe that should have been replaced in the past, which hasn't been.
Wellington has a problem. Most of its piping infrastructure hasn't been updated in more than 100 years. We're going to be looking at how this has come about and what the council is doing to deal with it.
First, we asked some students at Wellington High School what they thought.
Have you seen any water leaks on your commute or around your living area recently?
All the time.
Yes?
Yeah.
Yes, actually.
Yes, I have seen many a water leak on my travel to school.
Quite a few. There's always something broken around Strathmore.
There is a massive burst pipe that's like on my walk.
Walked past a water leak that was flooding a bit of the sidewalk.
I have to jump over it each time because there's a massive puddle there. And I think that's definitely not the first time that's happened. There's been lots of them on my way to school.
How quickly would you say they were fixed?
Well, some of them have been fixed, but some of them haven't yet. And they've been there for a number of weeks.
A few days.
That took a while to get fixed.
I still have some of them that are going.
A few weeks, I think.
There was one that took 2 weeks to fix that was especially it was erupting everywhere, and then they tried to fix it themselves but they couldn't.
It might still not be fixed, I'm not 100% sure.
Then it took another 2 weeks before it fixed itself.
They haven't been fixed very quickly from the ones that haven't been fixed, and the ones that have been, I suppose it took them a few weeks or something. I'd guess.
In general, how well do you think Wellington Water is dealing with the issues in the pipe system?
Not terribly.
I think they could be faster on their way of fixing it.
The water, sometimes it's yellow, it tastes like metal. Pipes burst all the time.
And I don't pay water bill, I don't know how that's happening.
They're digging up the pipes and re-strengthening them around certain places, which is interesting, but it takes a lot of time.
I think they are doing everything they need to look good when fixing issues.
Basically, they need to stop prioritising the pipes that are fine and get to the ones that keep bursting, because those are the problem. So I'm not sure if they're doing an amazing job with it.
How much water do you think is wasted annually in Wellington by leaks?
Probably too much. If it's waste, it's even just a little bit of waste is too much.
Lots and lots.
A lot.
I couldn't give you a statistic, but
lots works.
Lots and lots.
Lots
yeah.
I know that there was a percentage that was given. It was about between 40 and 60%.
It's a normal amount.
20. Okay, 2,000 litres.
It's a lot more than that, Connor.
Okay.
A lot is my answer.
Okay. So the amount of drinking water lost to leaks each year is 2 billion. It's 2 billion litres a year.
Jesus Christ.
It's 2 billion a year.
What the fuck?
It's 2 billion litres a year.
Well, I didn't give a number, but I sure gave a percentage. Jeez.
Wellington Water supplies around about 140 million litres of water to Wellington daily, but we lose roughly 45% of this through leaks. This is costing the council around $1 billion every year.
Kia ora, I'm Justin Lester.
Do you think that past councils should have done more to alleviate the issues facing Wellington's water infrastructure today?
Yeah, you can always do more, but Wellington City Council was the only council in the country that was fully funding its depreciation and the renewal of its water infrastructure. And I'm just going to stress that, the only council in the country that is fully funding its renewal. But you can't replace all of your pipes all at once. It takes a long time because it's extensive work. You've got to dig everything up, you've got to replace it, it's disruptive. And look, there are hundreds of, I think thousands of kilometres of pipes under the city, so it's not easy to do. I think a lot of the current issues that the council has faced do stem back to the earthquake that the council experienced in 2016. and I was mayor then, and look, I can honestly say, hand on heart, in the 6 years prior that I was on council, we didn't have nearly as many problems. There weren't these constant leaks, there weren't these ruptures of pipes, there wasn't water seeping out of the ground all of the time. The leakage ratio was in and around sort of the 15%, which anything under 20 or 15% is really good internationally, whereas now it's upwards of 45%. So I think that earthquake took more of a toll than people understood at the time.
Do you think there's a division of interest between a re-election and fixing necessary issues that may be unseen or unpopular, particularly in the case of the Wellington water infrastructure?
Yeah, absolutely, and that afflicts every politician or every elected representative, and that no one wants to pay any more than they have to for rates. People are constantly complaining about rates increases, but also there's a good reason for it. I would say historically most councils probably erred on the side of being too cautious with the council finances and should have invested even just 1 or 2% more on the rates increases to allow for additional expenditure on that important infrastructure like Three Waters and like transport.
Do you think that the current measures that are being put in place are enough to combat the problems that are currently facing the water system?
It's going to take time. You can't replace your entire network overnight, certainly not even within 2 or 3 years. We're talking it's almost a multi-generational investment. That's not ideal, but that's the reality.
We've heard that from Wellington Water and from a few other sources that most of what they're doing is kind of playing whack-a-mole with like the leaks popping up, just fixing them as they come. But it would take millions, if not, might have been billions of dollars of investment to completely overhaul the pipe system. Do you think central government should be helping to pay for that?
Well, in an ideal world, this would have been budgeted over time by every council in the country, and they will have fully funded their depreciation and would have a renewal program over a 30-year period, which is now required, but previously wasn't, and an asset maintenance program and an asset information system that meant we wouldn't be in the state that we are nationally. But the reality is that most councils haven't done many of those things. The infrastructure is in a state whereby billions will need to be invested. Will central government pay for it? They should contribute. They do that with their roading network. So yes, there is an argument they could contribute. Do I think they will? Not necessarily. For me there, yes, I'd be finding mechanisms to allow that to happen. And of course, that was part of the proposal for Three Waters under the previous government, but that's been shelved by the current government, but they haven't come up with a replacement. And again, that's largely due to a lack of political will and some short-term, I think, political thinking around attaining office.
We contacted Wellington Water to ask for an interview, but unfortunately they were unable to do so. However, they did agree to provide a written response to our questions. We asked, what is being done to combat the issues facing Wellington's water network? What would you say is the biggest thing facing the redevelopment of the water network? And how do you think this could be overcome? Wellington Water responded by saying that there are a wide range of issues facing the city's water network, particularly in the form of aging infrastructure, which due to historical underinvestment means that pipes are failing at a faster rate than they can be replaced. There is, however, a wide range of work being undertaken to address this, in particular infrastructure upgrades such as the Kaitoki pipe bridge replacement, the Timarua water treatment plant capacity upgrade, and the Porirua wastewater storage facility project, to name a few, while also enacting water-saving measures, improved monitoring and management, and resilience planning. The biggest challenge that stands in the way of network redevelopment currently is its cost, and while shareholding councils are allocating all they can, it's still not enough. Wellington Water continues to work closely with councils and contractors to ensure the network issues are dealt with effectively and efficiently, while also pursuing a program to replace aging assets. They say that systemic changes are needed to ensure there is more investment into water assets for the long term, so they can perform day-to-day services to the standard their customers, the people of Wellington, expect. In conclusion, Wellington's water infrastructure still isn't in good shape, thanks to decades of underinvestment and inattention brought to the forefront by the 2016 earthquake. Wellington Water and the council still remain committed to fixing the network, however this is still a very present issue and isn't going to have a quick fix anytime soon.